Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa. Hello, family. Thank you again for tuning in for another exciting episode with Fafa. Today, I'll be sharing my flatbread recipe. So easy to make, and this is the kind of season for it as well. Now, do not worry, I'll leave all the list of ingredients and measurements, including the transcript of this recipe, on my blog, fafagilbert.com. So do check it out. To start off, I'm adding salt to my bowl. And then I'm also adding my self-raising flour. Once I mix everything together until it's well combined, the next ingredient I'll be adding will be my homemade yogurt recipe. And I've got that recipe covered for you in a previous video. I'll leave a link in the description box so you can familiarize yourself with it. I'm now drizzling a little bit of my extra virgin olive oil to the mixture, and I'm going to mix everything together until it's well combined. The next thing I need is moisture in the form of water. So I'll be using lukewarm water, which means that you can just dip your finger in and it will not burn you, but it still has that little warmth in there. I'll be adding the water bit by bit so that I don't have an extremely soft dough. I just need the dough to be so. But as I mentioned, I'll leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, so you are covered with that. But just in case, you are making this recipe without the measurements, which I tend to do sometimes anyway. I eyeball some of the, measurements and then it works. I'm like, oh, okay, then I have to try it again. Yes, just follow this process. So just add the water a bit at a time. And now that I've got that right consistency that I'm looking for, as you can tell, I'm now going to be kneading the dough just a little bit, just to have that pliable texture, as you can tell. And this process will take you about 5 minutes. Once I do that, I'll also drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil and cover it with a cling film and leave it just for about 10 minutes for it to rest. I mean, you can cook this straight away, but I just think that, when you cover it and allow it to rest and then you knead it a little bit again, just for another 5 minutes, it makes for an amazing flatbread. But that is me being me. You don't have to, it's the quickest recipe you could ever try. So yes, really and truly, you can omit that and then just move to this point. So I'm just going to quickly knead the dough just to make sure that, the olive oil just goes through. But you can just see or tell that immediately it has a glossier shine and look to it. And it is at this point that I'm going to divide my dough into 6 equal parts. Now, when it comes to shaping your flatbread, you're more than likely to get an oval shape, an odd shape. And look, if you're very lucky, you get that perfect round shape. But don't worry, it's still the same fresh bread that you've just made yourself. But what I tend to find is when I roll it this way, it makes it easier for me to shape it. Yes, but you don't need to do this at all. You can just roll it into that lovely little ball and then roll it if, you're an expert at it. You have to laugh at this point because it's a third attempt that actually looks like that round shape. After all, no. Okay. Anyway, so we've got the shapes. And guess what? I've got here my flat pan. I got this from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description box. So yes, you can grab yourself one. And then here I've laid my flatbread. Now, interestingly enough, when I was rolling it, it almost had that oval shape. But of course, when I placed it on that high heat, look, it's just shrunk and you could just tell that that shape is almost perfect. You see? And what I love about this is because this is self-raising flour, you got the yogurt. It creates those beautiful bubbles. The cooking time of your flatbread depends on you. I personally prefer mine golden brown, or in my case, mom would say, that's burnt. Yeah, no. And then I lightly fry the other part of it. Yeah, so it takes like a minute on one side and about 15 seconds on the other side, and that's perfect for me. On the other hand, if you do like yours with just a touch of color, but not as brown as mine was, then what you tend to do is just check it. And I think after 30 seconds, you can just turn it over. And that's the beauty about it. Here I'm drizzling some olive oil over it, and I'm going to turn it again and cook that part on a high heat for another 20 seconds. And guess what? It just puffs up. Yeah, so the time of cooking this depends on how you like it. Also, if you're craving for that smoky flavor, what you can do is place it on a live fire, as you can tell here, but do take all your necessary precautions, absolutely, and just toss it within about a few seconds, and you've got that flavor, smoky flavor infused into it. And here, family, is my pièce de résistance. Now, you can sprinkle it with any herb of your choosing. I used my spring onions, but you can also try parsley, or better still, garlic butter, melted garlic butter. That'll be yummy. Now, I serve this with my yogurt and cumin dip, as well as my homemade hummus. Absolutely. I'll leave links in the description box so you can emulate each and every one of this. Open your mouth for me, Sha. Now, are you inspired to try this recipe? This is so quick. No hassle, no wahala. You don't even need to repeat that whole kneading process that I went through. No, that's just me. But you can even make it easier. Absolutely. Now, have you tried my chickpea recipe? It is incredible. It's one that you need to try. And of course, as I mentioned, I'll leave the hummus recipe in the description box so you can also enjoy it. Now, notification gang, me Daniel, thank you very much. And to my loyal subscribers, me love you guys and appreciate each and every one of you. You will find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, including Facebook as Ndudu by Fafa. So pass by and say hi. Noel, thank you very much for my theme song. And until my next video with you kings and queens, take care of you, be nice, be beautiful, and guess what? I love you for you. Una.